Welcome to Single Parent Success Stories, a podcast designed to inspire single parents. Here you'll find resources from self-care to finances to parenting and everything in between. Discover what it takes to thrive. Let the stories inspire you to what is possible. Hello and welcome to Single Parent Success Stories. Today's guest is Yolanda Alvarez. She's joining us from Melbourne, Australia. She's a single parent of two daughters, ages 17 and 22, who co-authored her book, Abundant Motherhood, Empowering Moms to Empower Their Kids. Today, Yolanda is a speaker, author, and empowered parenting mentor. Welcome, Yolanda. It is a pleasure to have you.
Hello, Irina. It's such a pleasure to be here. Ooh, a mum from New York sounds very exciting to us Melburnians. Thank you so much for having me, and so grateful when I found out about your channel for single parents. My heart just opened because single parenting journey is such a course of stepping into the unknown, and what you're doing is just amazing. And I'm so grateful to add my little 2 cents into your amazing podcast. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So please share with us your journey. How did you become a single parent?
So I was 30 years with my ex, and I know that seems like a long time because if you could see me, I believe I look 30. We feel young, don't we?
You look very young for your age.
Well, 30 years, and that was 22 years in marriage, 7 years prior to that. And, we were young, didn't know who we were. And as the relationship evolved, we went on different paths. Some of us were more courageous to go within, and some weren't. And I believe this is what many relationships do face. And I have high honor for relationships that stand the test of time. When couples go through 30, 40, 50 years together, I can see what that might be for them. Maybe it's luck that just got them, that both their souls were aligned to be with each other, and that's brilliant. But that awareness is so important to know, and that importance of choosing that right partner at such a young age. It's like throwing a dice in the dark, isn't it? So with my daughters, this became a matter of importance that they make those right choices. And what's really key is getting to know ourselves. Who are we? And from that space, we can then align with the right person. From that space, we can make choices that align with who we are. So it's so important. And our kids don't get taught this in school. And the key to all of this is understanding emotions, Irina. So going back to my story, I know I've diverted there. You asked me about my story. So it's been a roller coaster ride, and luckily there's more highs now, but there were tremendous amount of lows. I had to go on a quest through my marriage. So while I was in my marriage, I realized I had to find who I was, because like a spiral, I found myself going deeper and deeper down into what you can call today as depression, because I found myself really struggling in communication, really struggling to be heard. I was ready to do anything to make the relationship work. And when we put all of ourselves into something, we then start to find ourselves. So that journey through my marriage was a journey of me finding myself. And when I chose to end the relationship, it is because I realized that it was the best for all of us involved. And it was the best thing even for my ex at the time. When we hit rock bottom, the only way is up. And that's what our challenge to all of us was. We hit rock bottom. And once you hit rock bottom, I believe that if you choose to change your story, you can see the light on the other end. So my daughters, Irina, became my guiding force. I became determined to be the mom I wanted my daughters to be proud to become themselves. Because at that time, I wasn't that mom. And I could watch through their actions, through their words, how impactful who I was to them. They were looking up to me. How was I showing up? Each time I chose to stay in a marriage that was disempowering to me, I realized that my kids were going to make similar choices. I saw how I reached into this, how I created this relationship. And a lot of it came from my own childhood, which is why we're talking about breaking generational curses in this podcast. So thank you for that great topic. Because I do believe that each of us is carrying generationally hurts and curses and negative, dense emotion that is showing up in our most precious relationships, and we are not even aware of it. As parents, we are parenting from our best selves, trying with our greatest goal to be the best parent for our child, and we're doing all the right things consciously. What we don't realize is what's working subconsciously. And our subconscious mind, as many of us know, is what is directing our everyday actions. So when we have those moments when we feel upset with our kids, when we feel triggered, and when we are overreacting with them, I say to parents, stop and observe. When we are overreacting, it's often, or not, I will not say often, it is most certainly coming from past experiences, past unhealed wounds that might be your own, or it might be coming through to you generationally. And it is so key in our attempt to be that best parent to our kids to access these generational traumas, generational hurts, generational curses. Many parents come to me and say, Yolanda, I've had the perfect childhood. I've been fine. I was raised perfectly, but I can't understand why I have no patience for my kids. I love them so much, but my kids have no idea how much I love them, because in every interaction with them, I am upset, I'm disappointed, I am hurt, they don't help enough, they don't do enough. I do so much for them. How can I be happy? How can I show them I love them when this is my interaction with them? And it's coming from the most genuine, heartfelt space. And here is where I ask parents to stop. There is work to be done, because we are passing on this generational stuff that our kids don't deserve. So everyone is carrying it. No one is exempt. If you are experiencing a trigger and you are overreacting from it, it is there. That's proof enough that it is there. And it came through my relationship with what led me to be a single parent, came through from having that bravery, from having that courage, that I believe my parents, my grandparents, generationally, we did not have the strength to do. There was culture, there was community, there was society expectations that kept us held. And I was fortunate enough to be in a country like Australia, where my cultural forces were not dominant in my life. So I was able to break the pattern because I did not want my kids to find themselves in a relationship or make choices that did not serve their greatest and highest purpose. Because this is what all of us are here to do. We're here to align with our own journey, with our own higher self, with our own greatness. And that's how um, we are serving community. We may not all do great things. We're all not here to do great things and important things. But in our societies, we are here to be the light so that those around us can shine too. And as a mom, that became my priority to become the light. No matter how society condemned me for making the choices I did, what mattered to me was that I became the light so that my daughters would choose to shine their light too. So that's in a nutshell my story, Irina.
I love it. Awesome. And you are right that, we get a lot of this past pains and hurts and curses and trauma from a childhood. And sometimes even in a overall memory of a childhood could be sweet and you feel amazing, but it could be an event that happened that maybe lasted 1 minute.
Absolutely. That has
And the
sabotaged your creativity. Yes,
and
that's right.
sometimes we might not even realize we live a life, we do the things, and then we get triggered because we have a lot of
That's right.
expectations about ourselves and about the world. And when expectations are not meeting, then we get triggered. So
That's right.
it's better
A
to have
client came to
agreements
me.
instead of expectations because then it's
Yeah,
not so personal. It's just agreement didn't work out. How do we fix the agreement so it works? And there is no personalities involved anymore because expectations just, I think, set ourselves up for failure
yes,
and
yes,
creates
exactly. Expectations
confrontation.
lead to disappointment. If you had no expectations, you wouldn't be disappointed.
Yes.
Yeah, at the same time, we want to have expectations without the disappointment.
Yes.
Lovely. Beautiful. So I was from what you said, I remembered a story. Like you said, we have, we think that, oh, we've had this great life, we're happy growing up, but I don't know what happened. It reminded me of a story of one of my clients who remembered a story of being a child. She used the paints and she was painting over the wall, and she was filled with joy and creativity, and she thought she would make her parents so proud of all the colors she would use. And this came through in a story because she was realizing where we were looking to see where was her creativity shut off. And it was this 5-year-old girl whose mom came in and was so angry to see what she had done on the wall. She was beaten, she was yelled at, and she felt shut down at that point, and she had no idea that some way this little girl made gave it a meaning that to be creative was not joyful, and that to be creative was to disappoint those around us. So it's these little subconscious that we know when our conscious mind is not true, but subconsciously that little girl had made that decision, and she was shutting herself out in her parenting, in her own career, in her life, in her relationship. So, so important. We think that um, it was all perfect, it was fine. It is these few minutes in our memory going down into our subconscious that can sabotage us for the rest of our lives. And it's so important to do this work. Anyone who's done anything great has had to address past experiences and really get into those triggers. So the people that challenge us the most, my ex who challenged me the most in my life, gave me the greatest gifts to be able to do what I am today, to be the mom of his kids so that they could see their greatness came from him and came from all of the challenges that we went through. So, he might question, was he a good father? He was an amazing father because of the way the situation turned out and what he contributed today for the girls to be able to step into their greatness and for me to be able to do this work and support so many families.
You're so right, so right. And I think you're very brave after being married for 22 years, being able to see that it's not beneficial to keep on going and to part ways, to instill better values, because you're right, our kids, they don't care what we say. It's what we do that matters, who we are being in any situation.
Absolutely.
They're like little
Spot on
parrots
there.
absorbing our every action.
Little sponges. That's right. Yeah. And I was a little sponge to my parents. They had a relationship that wasn't true to each of them, but they kept staying and they thought that it was the best thing to do for us, which is what made me stay for 22 years. Because if my parents could do it, I should be able to do it too.
Mhm.
So our kids are our sponges. So do not for a moment be in a relationship or be in a job or be any way that's not aligned to you, because this is what we're teaching our kids.
Yeah. Knowing what you know now, what kind of advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, you're going to make me cry now, Irina. My younger self has always been courageous. It's just that she did not know the path. So, my younger self, what I would say to her is keep seeking. Keep seeking. The path is there. You just have to go down persistently and consistently. Be committed to yourself. Keep knocking those doors, because you will find, if you don't try, if you don't head into new directions, your possibility of finding new pathways is 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 zero. So it's important to keep going different paths, try out, because we live this one life and we're here to live it aligned to ourselves. And for some, they probably are born into the right path and born into the right career. But for many of us, many of us, it is a journey, and in that journey is the growth, is the gold. I am very grateful that I wasn't born into the right path and that I had to make my own way through the darkness and through those um, scary pathways, because that allows me to feel the confidence in myself and gives me the trust. And I know that I've raised my girls to have that confidence in themselves and trust in themselves too.
Yeah. What do you think is the most important trait to instill in a child?
The most important trait to instill in a child does not come from instilling it into them, but instilling it into you as a parent, because your child, as you said before, isn't listening to the words and the instilling that you're doing into them. They are looking at you. They're looking at what you've instilled into yourself. How bravely do you show up? How courageously? What is the meaning you give for failed attempts? Is it failure, or is it just another way that you have learned to not um, attempt a situation? So everything is gold, and that's the best thing we can instill to our child, is being that parent who steps forward courageously, who treads down paths that have never been tread, having the confidence and trust in themselves.
I love it. Your question answer is very original. I haven't heard that response yet.
There you go.
Most of the time I hear trust, confidence, what else? Self-love.
Yes,
Your
self-love is
very
one of my
original.
favorites as well.
Instill the value in yourself and then let your children model.
Just model. They're just modeling you. Yeah. Parents put so much effort on the child, on saying the right things, on doing the right things for their child. And that's what my book is about, empowering moms to empower their kids. So empower yourself, moms and dads too, to empower their kids. And that's the copy of my book. And it was when I went through writing the book, I realized, Rena, how important it was for my kids to share their perspective, especially my 22-year-old. She experienced me in that deflated, in that depressed, in that disempowered state. And she was around 10, 11, 12 while I started to choose this new path of parenting, where I did my own work. I was addicted to education, so I kept on learning. I thought that's how I could get my self-worth. I was really looking for my own worthiness, and I went down the path of educating myself. And she was with me on that journey as she saw me be that angry mom, that mom who had so much guilt in her, who put everyone else first and depleted and um, and I was projecting that on her, Irina. So I really wanted that my daughters share their experience with me in the chapters of my book, and which is why they've got chapters each. My 17-year-old who experienced luckily more of the empowered version of me, and then I've got my older one who experienced both of them. And what I'd like to say to parents who are struggling with their kids is that it's never too late. Some parents feel disappointed and they feel guilt that it's too late now to save their kids. I learned this information so late. It is not too late. I work with parents with kids as old as 27 years old. So long as you take parenting seriously, so long as your parenting is a priority, you have an impact on your child. And this work is for you. It's not what you can do for your child, but what you can do for you. And because from there we take our energy, from there we take our healed emotions and parent our child from there. Um, can I mention that I do run a 12-week emotional mastery program, doing specifically this for parents of kids of any age. Even if you're planning to be a parent, it's the best gift you can give to your unborn child. If you are a parent of an older child and struggling with your relationship and it's important, it's a 12-week process that I take you through in my program, where I support you to recognizing, to healing these past, for going into those past emotions in a safe way and guiding you through it so you can have those profound relationships. And you start, because you are the center of your world, you start to experience those quality of relationships in your with your partner, with family, with your kids, with extended family, with colleagues, and more importantly with yourself. This is where the true freedom to be ourselves lies, because we are emotional beings. And once we start to have control and mastery over our emotions, we are truly living free of patterns, free of generational curses, free of being someone that we truly aren't.
Yes, I think emotional work is very important. I believe, in fact, we are these four-dimensional beings. We have a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual needs, and all systems must thrive. And the way to thrive the system is to create habits that are supportive of the person that we want to become. And so dealing with emotions, I think, is very important part of the
Yes,
overall health, overall thriving of a person.
yes.
So
The freedom
kudos
to
to
be
you for
ourselves.
your amazing work.
Oh, to you too, Irina. I know the amazing work you do as well.
Thank you. What kind of advice would you give to a single parents who are just starting on that journey of single parenting?
Mm. I would say to them, be relentless in your quest to seek a better life for you and for your kids. It exists. See that future you can have, even though the signs around you are not showing any possibility. Stay firm in creating that new reality for yourself, because we can be so attached to the past experiences, because what has brought us to being this single parent on this, set us out on this journey, will have massive amounts of pain, hurt, resentment. And it is so important to look past it, capture every thought. My greatest advice would be capture every thought and align it to the exciting future you are seeking to create. No, be relentless, because the signs around you will say the opposite. But I say to you, be relentless, because it's not far off.
I totally agree with you. When I was in
So
my
important.
state of, after a breakup, I was in that low, depressed state. And everywhere I looked, I saw complete families. I saw everything looking good on the outside. I was this weird outlier, a single parent, figuring out
Isn't
what
it?
normal looked like. But
Yes.
realizing that however I was living didn't work anymore, and I had to change. And making that decision, and then even though there was nobody like me around me, I embarked on a personal development journey that allowed me to seek those improvements in myself, that allowed me to, in fact, speak with you here today.
Absolutely. Well done. Kudos to you, Rina. Well done.
Thank you. What do you have a personal superpower? What is your superpower, would you say?
I would say my personal superpower is my absolute trust and confidence in myself, that no matter what life throws at me, I may not have the resources at the time, but I trust that I am supported and the support will come to me. I will always have what I need. It might take long, but there is growth that will come in that process. But I absolutely trust myself, and I have great confidence in the support that will come to me in any moment. So there's nothing that I cannot overcome. That's my greatest superpower.
I love that. Resilience and confidence. Awesome.
That's right. Absolutely. What about you, Irina? Can I throw that question? I'd love to hear, because you're such an amazing woman. I'd love to hear, what is your superpower?
I don't know. I guess creativity and
Wow.
figuring things out. I'm building something that didn't exist before.
Oh, that just makes my heart open up. That's so powerful.
Thank you. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
Um, I would like to share, I guess, to summarize to uh, parents and single parents listening in, that they are the center of their world. They are the center of their universe. They are the center of their kids' world. And them caring for themselves is so, so crucial to this journey. And that it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay. And in fact, it's crucial to feel those emotions that you are struggling with at the moment. If you suppress them, you are carrying them with you, and you might even be taking them into your next relationship. Be open to that next relationship. Go to those dark places in a safe and supported way. Find that support, find those mentors, because I needed that too. We are not here to do this alone. And where there is a will, there is a way. I know single moms are very hard up for cash. So it can be a big struggle to pay for that mentor and to buy that program. Seek support and surround yourself in new environments where people uplift you so you can get that support that you need.
Yes, I think it's so important surrounding yourself with people who believe more in you than you believe in yourself.
In
See
yourself.
the
Yes,
light in you,
spot on.
see more of you. And it's I call it, because we are the product of 5 people who we surround ourselves with. And if you don't have that circle of support, then find it, because there are so many resources right now available for the community aspect of it, online and
That's
in
right.
person.
Look at us, other parts of the world connected. So yes, absolutely. Back in the day, we didn't have as much access as we do today. So there's absolutely no excuse to not have the right people around you.
Yeah. Yeah. If people would like to connect with you or learn more about you or take your programs, where would they go?
So I am empowered parenting. So I am on Instagram. I have my group on Facebook, the Empowered Parents Group, and I'm on LinkedIn as Empowered Parenting with Yolanda Alvarez, and I am also on TikTok actually. So and I've got my website where you can read more about the emotional mastery, or contact me directly. I'll put a link where people can connect with me directly and ask me about our 12-week emotional mastery program. In fact, we've got a year-end promotion coming up. So if any parent is interested, there is that option to jump in on a special offer to join our 12-week program and start 2023 in a whole new emotionally aware self.
Thank you. And I will include all of the links in the episode notes so that people can connect with you further. Thank you so much for
Brilliant.
coming on, sharing your
Oh, thank
wisdom,
you.
your story, and your powerful tools. It was a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure to connect with you as well, Irina. And God bless all of this work that you are doing. Amazing.
Thank you.